Cereal is a breakfast classic for most people. You just add milk, and some people just add sugar as well. And you have your quick morning meal or breakfast. But finding a healthy cereal that also tastes good can be a challenge in supermarket aisles because they are filled with boxes of sugary refined grains in them. Experts say that there's room for improvement even when people skip the sweetest options. Cereal is typically high in carbs but low in protein and fiber on its own. Cereal alone, just pouring it in a bowl, isn't necessarily the most healthy filling option for our families. But we can use it as a base and add things to make it healthy and filling. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Ifechi Health and Wellness. This video is inspired by Cheese Space. Shout out to you, Cheese Space. Because in one of the videos I made recently regarding sugary food or something like that, she also wanted me to look into less sugary cereals. Because a lot of people, especially when you have children, obviously when we had our children, we are young and at home, we always have different kinds of cereals. And looking back now, some of the cereals that we gave them at the time, I'm like, what was that all about? Because they love this, especially this one. Oh God, if I remember the name, I'll say it before the end of this video. It's like chocolate-based type of cereal. We did all that, but it came to a stage as they were growing up, we have to cut down and stop because these cereals are loaded with sugar. From the research I made, the healthiest cereal, although it's not, we can't class that as cereal, but breakfast, is porridge oats. Porridge oats only contains 0.5 gram to 1.1 gram, and I'm just using 100 gram mark for everything I'm saying is per 100 gram. That's if you hear me say 0.5 gram is per 100 gram of whatever cereal that you're having. So porridge oats came actually on top. Some of the cereals I looked at, they are not very common here in the UK, or they may well be because I have not been using cereal for a long time. So when I call the names, if you are not familiar with them, then know that it's not in here in the UK. It may be in other parts of the world. It was an eye-opener because I thought that Rice Crisps and cornflakes, and in particular cornflakes, are fairly low in sugar. But I found other ones that are lower. Rice Crisps came as both of them actually 10 gram each per 100 gram serving of Rice Krispies and cornflakes, because these are major, most common ones that are used in the UK. And that one with chocolate, oh God, if you remember that one, put it in the comment section for me, please. Haven't had cereal, only God knows for how long, and we don't have cow milk. Just go for either I make my own almond milk, or just buy organic almond milk. So porridge oat came number 1 as 0.5 grams, so it's quite low. Rice Krispies and cornflakes are 10 gram each, that's slightly high. Cheerios, original Cheerios, actually it came as 1.18 gram to 2 gram per 100 gram serving, so it's fairly low. There's one I saw called Kix, K-I-X. It came up with 4 grams of sugar in them. These are fairly low because remember the adult sugar allowance per day is 30 grams. So if you're having cornflakes that is already 10 grams, for the rest of the day, other things you are going to be having, how much sugar will be in them? And people are not just having the cornflakes or Rice Krispies or even the porridge oats. They are adding sugar and maybe condensed milk. By the time you add all those things, that 10 gram will jump to something else. For porridge oats, can you please try adding just a pinch of salt to your porridge oats and just use milk to make it, and don't add add any sugar and see what you think, because we don't need sugar in porridge oats. Just a pinch of salt does the trick for me, because I love porridge oats and I never add milk to them. I used to add honey when I have the very, very authentic honey, but most of the time now I just add my milk and a pinch of salt and I'm good to go. And once your taste bud gets used to these things, you'll be fine. Weetabix is another one. It's fairly low. Weetabix is about 4.4 gram. There's one called Weetabix OT Bix. That one is 2.4 gram. Brown flakes that I thought are really good and lower in sugar actually has 14 grams of sugar per 100 gram servings. So brown flakes is not the best, actually, because a lot of people think that it's good for you. Nestle shredded wheat is another one that is quite low in sugar. We're talking about the sugar here, 0.3 to 0.7. You know that when sugar gets into your system, it can convert to carbohydrates. So anything low in sugar is good for you. Now, let me talk briefly about milk. You know, a lot of people go for skimmed milk, semi-skimmed, and they run away from the whole fat milk. Sorry, the whole milk. You know, here in the UK is the pink top, the green top, and the blue top. The pink top is the skimmed, the green top is the semi-skimmed, and the blue top is the full cream, this fresh milk. Let me shock you, because I've always known that that skimmed milk, if you want to go low in fat, obviously, yes, skimmed milk is fine. But when it comes to the sugar content, my people, do you know that both skimmed milk and semi-skimmed milk have the same 4.8 grams of sugar? Semi-skimmed have 3.6 grams of fat, and obviously skimmed milk have 0.3. So, and the main thing we should be running away is not really the fat content of these things, but the sugar content. Yeah, low in fat, but much higher in sugar than the full fat milk. Because when I looked at the whole milk, which is the full fat milk, the sugar content in that one is 4.7, so slightly lower than skimmed and semi-skimmed, which were 4.8. And the fat content in full fat is 3.7, and semi-skimmed is 3.6. So it's neither here nor there. So that's why I say to people, if you really have to drink milk, especially for young children anyway, just give them the normal milk. And for adults, if you're running away from the fat, they've drained all the nutrients from it and it just left with 0.3 fat. If that's what you want, fine. But to me, if you really want to drink cow milk, you can just go for the normal milk and know what you're drinking. So that's a little bit of the research I did. I thought I'll come up and share this with you because I thought we needed to talk about milk. Or if we can avoid, some of these cow milk, if you can avoid them and use alternatives, there are so many alternatives in the market, then you can do that. But all in all, do what suits you. But knowledge is power. Once you know these things, then you can make an informed decision. And remember, all these grams of sugar I've mentioned here are just a little bit of it, because sugar for the day for an adult is 30 grams. And if your cereals already contain 14 grams, 10 grams, before you add your sugar and your milk and every other thing, you can imagine how much fat we are consuming in a day. No wonder we are getting bigger, we are getting more visceral fat, whether we are looking fat outside or slim outside. Visceral fat is the one that is causing more problem. I'm going to stop this video here. Maybe in my next time, I'm going to come up with the cereals that are very high in sugar. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Goodbye and God bless.